My name is Kasey, and I am honored to be here with you today, not just as a former teacher, but as a mother, as a disability advocate, and someone whose entire life was transformed by one small, strong, extraordinary boy named Carter. On June 24th, 2014, everything I thought I had planned for my life changed. I went in for what I thought was going to be a standard ultrasound, excited to learn if I was having a boy or a girl. What I didn't expect was to hear terms I had never encountered before. Spina bifida, hydrocephalus, Arnold-Chiari malformation. That was the moment I stepped into the world of disability. Not with a plan, not with preparation, but with love and a fierce determination to learn everything I could to give my son the best possible life. We were presented with a complex option, fetal surgery. A team of doctors would open me up, perform spinal surgery on my unborn baby, place him back inside of me, and continue developing. This was not a cure. There are no cures with birth defects, but it could stop further damage to his spinal cord. When I asked if there was anyone I could talk to who had gone through it, the answer was, well, Kasey, you would be the first. I know, right? Yeah. Not exactly what a person expects to hear when they ask that question, but I knew if we were candidates, it was the right decision. So, on July 29th, 2014, at 23 and a half weeks pregnant, I became the first person to undergo fetal surgery for spina bifida in the state of Michigan. Carter was placed back inside of me, and nearly 11 weeks later, on October 10th, he was born for the second time. Since that day, our lives have been full of joy and challenge. Surgeries, hospital stays, therapies, mobility aids, and moments that have stretched me beyond anything I have ever expected. And there's a lot that I could share with you about raising a child with a disability, but you know what surprises people the most? Shoes. Yes, finding shoes that fit over leg braces are nearly impossible. The light-up shoes every kid seems to have, not made for kids like mine. And orthopedic options, clunky, expensive, and deeply uncool. Carter and I have never left a shoe store smiling, but we have left in tears more than once. And not over the shoes themselves, but over what they represent. Being left out of a world that was never designed with him in mind. That's when I began to understand that this is not just a parenting journey, it is a movement. Because Carter has taught me something essential. There is a difference between accessibility and inclusion. You see, accessibility is just checking a box, but inclusion changes the entire form. Accessibility is when a playground technically has a ramp, even if it leads to nowhere. Inclusion is when the ramp leads to something worth playing with. Accessibility says, you can come, but inclusion says, we made this with you in mind. And that is exactly why Disability Pride Month matters. Every July we celebrate to honor the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which became law just 35 years ago in 1990. That is within my lifetime. It's within all of ours. It was a turning point, but one that came only because disabled people demanded to be seen. In fact, did you know that the longest government sit-in in U.S. history was led by disabled activists? You see, on April 5th, 1977, the 504 sit-in began all across the country. And in San Francisco, it was the longest, lasting 26 days. People with disabilities occupied the Federal Health and Wellness Building with no food, ventilators and no air conditioning, demanding that Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act be enforced. And their bravery laid the groundwork for the ADA. They were fighting for a seat at the table because people with disabilities have been purposefully excluded from rooms where decisions were being made. Disability pride says that our lives are not less valuable. They are not something to fix or hide. Disability is not rare. It is natural, and it is not someone else's issue. It is ours. We're all just temporarily able-bodied. Most of us assume that we'll always walk, think, see, or move in the same way, and then life happens. Disability is not the exception. It's part of the human experience. 1 in 4 adults here in the United States has a disability, and 1 in 5 children have special health care needs. And the disability community is the largest minority group that anyone can join at any time and for any reason. So what Disability Pride says today is no more. Disabled people belong in every room, every meeting, and every decision-making space. And despite the progress that's been made in the last 48 years since 1977, we are still watching the foundation shake. Medicaid and Medicare, which provide health care, therapies, medical equipment, and personal care services to millions, are being targeted by budget proposals that would gut their funding. These aren't extra benefits. They are survival systems. They are what make it possible for many people to live independently, go to school, hold jobs, and care for their families. It is not an exaggeration to say that there are lives at stake. These are not luxuries, they are lifelines. If these programs are cut, people will lose far more than coverage. They will lose mobility, they will lose safety, they will lose their freedom. This is why the Arc Livingston exists, and why our work matters now more than ever. Our work is solely focused on people with developmental disabilities and their families. We help them navigate systems, advocate for services, find connections, and protect their rights. From inclusion programming to policy advocacy, we are here making sure no one is left behind. And I'd like to give you a glimpse of why this work matters and how much it has been growing. In just 1 year, the Arc Livingston has seen an 88% increase in the number of people we have supported. And that's not just repeat families. We've also seen a 42% increase in brand new individuals reaching out for help. Our community outreach, things like our resource fairs, events, and trainings, has grown by 64% in the past year. That means that more families are hearing about us, more people are calling, and more are being connected to support that they didn't even know existed. The ARC has served and supported over 2,600 people in Livingston County in the past year alone. And we're doing this with a team of 7 staff members. The need here is real, but we cannot do this work alone. You see, Disability Pride Month is not about 1 month of visibility. It's about a lifetime of dignity. And it isn't about inspiration, it's about action. So this is the part where I turn to you. Not just as a mother or an advocate, but as a neighbor, as a fellow human, and as a guest in your church today. I ask, what are you doing to create inclusion in our community? It might start with questions like, is there anyone missing from the room who should be here? Do we have a seat for everyone at the table? Are we listening to voices that have been silenced or ignored? Because Disability Pride isn't just for those who are disabled. This month is a reminder to all of us to look around and ask ourselves, what can I do to make change? It's not just about ramps, elevators, or even shoes. It's about presence, power, and representation. In this county, it could look like attending a school board meeting and asking about inclusive education or adaptive sports. Asking your local library if they feature books by disabled authors. I know the answer though, they do. It's speaking up when systems fail disabled people. It's helping your church host sensory-friendly services. It's reaching out to local recreational facilities and asking about inclusive programs. And it's learning more about the Arc, volunteering, or yes, even donating so that we can grow and continue to grow in our impact. These are small acts, but together they shape a community where people with disabilities don't just feel welcomed, they know they were considered from the beginning. And in doing this, we are creating access, opportunity, and the chance for everyone to succeed. Because that's where change starts. It starts with us, in the places we live, and the things that we do each and every day. So let me end where I began, with Carter. The reason I do what I do, because my child is not a burden. He's not too complicated. He's not someone to fix. He is joyful. He is compassionate. He is funny. Oh, is he funny? And he's brave. And he belongs fully, exactly as he is. Now today, you may have heard something that made you feel a little uncomfortable. Maybe it's moved you, or helped you see things differently. And I ask of you, please do not leave that feeling in here. Take it with you. Let it move your feet. Let it grow in your heart, and let it guide your choices. Disability pride doesn't end when July does. It lives in how we see each other, how we speak up, and how we build our communities. So let's build that kind of community here. Thank you.